Okay, and we are here with Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. It's kind of loud, so graphical style, classic new. Yeah. So apparently I can't control the audio, but we're gonna go into the visual novel Radical Dreamers, 1996, a visual novel that was kind of rare to even come by. But here we go. It all began with a notebook my mother handed me. She told me she found it while cleaning out the closet. The old notebook, covered with mold, was a diary that belonged to my grandfather, who passed away years ago. It contained his memories. I wondered if you still remember how we first met, our many adventures. Seems like a dream. We ran like the wind during those warm summer days long ago. They were a piece of a star that fell from the sky. I can still relive the memories of those days long past, just by closing my eyes like so, the whispering your name in the desolate night. Kid. 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 Hey, kid. I like how the moon looks kind of like that, like a skull. Like, ooh. Are you ready, kid? I know you're anxious, but stay on your toes. Yeah, likewise, mate. You mess up and I'm leaving you behind. You got that, Surge? Come on, Majley, let's go. That bastard Lynx is gonna get what he deserves. Say your prayers, not that it'll do any good. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's say that our name is Surge. The old lady tipped off was right on the money. The counterspell of the barrier around the outer walls could have been done a real number on us. Kid's plan adored, braided, flicked back and forth across her shoulders as she walked. So Kid's a girl. We picked up our way through the elaborate lattice of the minor magic shields, moving in closer and closer to Lord Link's stronghold. There were three of us, Kid, Magel, and me. I guess it must have been 3 years already since I first met Kid. Back then I was wandering magician, traveling wherever my feet would take me, and wherever a tune would play for a warm bed. It was in the Outlands, in a town called Regeria, where we first ran across one another, and then she dragged me along on a whole bunch of adventures and misadventures. She was a thief, not just any thief, just a few months shy of 17, and already renowned as one of the realm's greatest. What more, she was achingly beautiful, stylish, a joy to be around, and a dab hand the campsite cooking. The truth was, a little different. Those bandits with hearts of gold you've heard about in stories. The ones who steal from the rich to give to the poor. She was short-tempered, prone to lying, bossy, and obsessed with money. Rarely did she care to listen to a single word anyone said to her, but she wasn't all bad. Maybe sometimes she had her moments anyways. I glanced over my shoulder to see a shadow hovering behind us. As known as Magel the Shade, she was Kid's partner, but even after 3 years, I still hardly knew anything about him. All I knew is that he was around 30 years old and not much of a talker, and a heck of a mage. I heard that he and Kid had started working together way before I met her. He always covered the top half of his face with a mask. I never seen what he looks like underneath. He was a man so mysterious that it seemed like he was an interloper from another world. It wasn't like Kid was exactly big on details about her past, and Kid didn't seem to know much about her partner in crime either. You might ask how exactly I wound up being a part of this merry band. I guess you could say that life doesn't always turn out the way you think it will. Kid, who was heading up our little raiding party, suddenly stopped, dead. "Look lively, boys, we got company." We glanced around, warily as cold, cruel eyes emerged from the darkness. I heard a low growl. Dark shadows prowled through the night surrounding us. A pack of wildcats. There must have been about 10 of them. A thrill of fear ran down my spine. Flustered, I pulled my knife from my belt. Kid calmly shifted into a fighting stance. "Watch yourself. I don't reckon none of those buggers have been treated for rabies." The wildcats snarled and growled as they slowly closed in on us, drawing the noose tighter and tighter. Their eyes glanced in the darkness like fireflies, and strings of Egger spittle dripped wetly to the ground. Then one of them set an almighty roar, soaring to the moon, and was on the hunt. What was I gonna do? Okay, so I'm gonna say I attacked. I tried magic, I defended myself, or I ran. Think fast. Kid Dave and of my left and gave the largest of their numbers and chopped him for a kick. The tall beast gave a yelp. It went flying. I turned to my right to see that a wildcat was nearby. I tried to make a second dodge. I wasn't quickly fast enough. Its claws scraped against my side. Yeah, I winced in pain for a moment, then turned to my face. I struck out wildly. I slashed at the wildcat with my knife. The beast tried to leap clear, but I was already too close. I felt the knife make contact, squirted with a screech of pain. The wildcat jumped away, this time managing to put some space between us. I stood my ground, changing my grip on the knife and waiting for another chance to attack. "Surge behind you, panic kid." Warning, I whirled around and came face to face with a pair of blazing like hellfire. I defended myself. There was no time to do anything but try and protect myself. In a moment of sheer desperation, I crossed my arms and guarded my face. Suddenly I felt sink into my exposed wrist. It was thrown itself bodily at me, falling over backwards. My arms, still in powerful jaws, pinned me to the ground and shook. I tried desperately to free myself, but it was clamped down to me like a bear trap. The sound of fang on bone was sickening, but then this recalled with a screech. Kid had buried her knife into its guts. She quickly capitalized on its terror by giving it an almighty kick. I was breathing heavily. The handle of my neck was slick with sweat, tight and gripply. It staggered before losing its footing, letting out a pathetic cry, but Kid had already moved to finish it. Then the roar of fire, a burning smell filled my nostrils. Next to me, the squirrel preached in the air. I just paused, fell, engulfed the head of a nearby wildcat, and it fled, darting off. I scanned the area only moments ago. We had been surrounded, but now there wasn't a single wildcat left. Gid and Magil had either sent the rest of them with their tails between their legs or put them the rest once and for all. Ha! You're dreaming if you think a pack of old flea-bitten muggies gonna stop us, Lynx. Kid crossed her arms and flashed a triumph grin. Meanwhile, I was panting heavily. I felt like my legs were about to give out from under me. Collapsed to my knees, overwhelmed by what had just happened. I'd taken a few hits, but I was fine otherwise. A couple of scars to talk about later, maybe, but nothing that would stop me from carrying on. Are you hurt? No worries, he'll be alright. Barging in to get a better look at me. He may be wingling shook, but it'd take more than a few scratches to kill this one. She was nothing if not sympathetic. She was right. There was no time to be bemoaning my lot. I dabbed at my wounds with the textured soaked cloth and bandages, then looked up at the other two. Sorry, I'm out. You'll have to carry on without me. We're just getting started. I grinned back, put in a brave face. That's what I like to hear. But then her eyes turned cold, like the cold glow of the moon. It's gonna be a long night. I nodded, trying my hardest not to utterly lose myself in the pale blue eyes. Alright, let's get to the show back on the road. She turned away, marched off deeply into the tree. Magel, of course, was already right behind her, making it seem though nothing much had happened at all. I jumped back to my feet to chase after them. It'd be even more trouble than I bargained for if I got separated from them. The dark forest inside the minor perimeter seemed to go on forever, a labyrinth of tree and boulder. The miner itself loomed in the darkness, glowering over the vast grounds, and hidden within was a veritable mountain of treasure just waiting for us. Lord Lynx was the noble who ruled the remote territory, and he was also Kid's mortal enemy. We were that night to steal a certain jewel he kept locked away in his most closely guarded vault, a frozen flame. The frozen flame was veiled in mystery. It was said to be imbued with an uncanny energy, possessed of beauty and clarity that made it seem like a priceless treasure. Countless thieves had tried to steal it, and not one of them had came close to succeeding. Nor had any of them escaped the miner alive. And now it was our turn to try and sneak into this place of death, led by a girl who had the ambitions to make the impossible possible, a hunger for vengeance that drove her onward, and a desire for riches that could never be satisfied. As we passed on through the tree-filled darkness, the shadows gave away at last, revealing the true extent of the vast miner. Finally, say your prayers, Lynx, 'cause we're coming for you. Keeping to the overgrowth and the shadows of the trees, we made our way around the minor walls in search of a means of entry. Eventually, we came to a terrace overlooking the garden. And, you know what? I'm gonna say right there. And, we'll start this nice little read next time. Alright, I'll see you guys later.